Alright, hello. This will be sort of a basic guide of importing resources to the Florida resource map for developers. So, first, basically what we want to do on a broad level is go to this FRM partners page, which has all the partners and some of the data they gave us in the past, and import this data into our new map. So here is the template that we'll be using for our updated data. And you can read like everything on the top for what you're supposed to put for each resource in the rows. This example one is outdated. Um, but yeah, just make sure to follow that. And we want to find the like the data. This is an example of some previous data that is a little bit outdated, and we just want to make sure convert it to our new format. So, as an example, here is one I did for CFF. So we have the headers here, and then we can populate these data fields for each of the resources. So just to let you know, uh, like some of these, such as is verified, it's easy to provide a default value, which is yes for now. Same goes for import ID. We can just do 1 through n. And we want to make sure that the required fields are there. And we don't need to populate any more than that. If we want to get more information in the future, we can reach out to them specifically. So make sure they have the name. And then for admins, uh, right now we'll set only the admin email to required. And some of these they might not reflect in the database, but when that's the case, make sure to either change it for yourself in the branch or message me, and we'll get to that later because we do, even though right now, for example, ideally we would want to have all these fields filled out just for importing for now. It's fine if most of them are blank. So we have website, email. I think email is required. Probably should put that on the import doc if it is. Descriptions, and a lot of these won't have addresses for now. We'll just put unknown. If there's any errors that come up with it, um, we'll just handle those one at a time. We can leave all this blank. Um, and then for like if it is, for example, for tags, if they're easy to find out, like for example, these descriptions are not very good, we'll just keep them. But tags, like if there were tags here, maybe they didn't match. If you can just use like ChatGPT to just generate kind of whatever data, just to put something there, that's alright. Like there's no need. If you can do it easily, you can maybe just put that down for the data. But if there's really nothing to go off of, you can just leave them empty as long as they're not ultra required. So that's the data. And what you want to do for this is you want to download the data into a CSV. And what you do with that CSV is after running the site, you can go to this page, and to make sure that you can see the dashboard page, you need to be on Compass and make sure that you have, for example, I'm on my Florida Innovation account right here. You want to make sure that your roles includes this 100-100 role that allows you to see this dashboard page. And then from here, you can go to import form and select Excel CSV. So this template, hopefully, is the right template. It's not the right template. We should update that. Maybe you can update that in the code. Uh, but you want to take that template we had, and here you want to select a resource import list. Now you might not automatically have a resource import list, so I'll explain that here. So resource import lists belong to a partner organization, which manages them. So I did just recently make some updates to the import list. They right now basically their only field except for the ID is name, and what we have is we define the which resource lists belong to each partner in the partners. So the partners, for example, this Central Florida Foundation has the resource import list of this ID, which matches the corresponding one in resource import list. And here, in order to see that import list, you want to make sure that you're listed on the users there. So for example, this is my OPID. Like if I go to users, the OPID there should match this, and I'm an editor for that resource. So in order to import a resource, you want to make sure that you're at least on one of these partner organizations here. Um, yeah, so after that, you should see something on this drop-down menu. So like the only one that this account is on CFF resources. So I can select that, and this is where you want to upload your CSV. So for example, this, the one I just downloaded, and then here, as you're importing, you also maybe want to have the network to see the requests here for any errors, and this console um, as well. And just before you do that, you should maybe status. Oh, you want to check out to the fix import branch, which I just created. Let me get rid of the new testing import. New testing branch. Okay. And here, your main function will be in the import resource controller. Um, so let's see if user first name, no such. Oh, I forgot. It's probably somewhere here. Oh yes, no, not in the dashboard. In where was it? It's not any of these. Oh, history. User first name access. Okay, yeah. So the first thing, just going over the common errors you might encounter, since I just encountered a lot of them recently. So if you're getting a message that's like, please ensure all field names are correct and all lines above header begin with this, then it's failing on the front end parsing of the file. So you want to make sure that you're using the um, the updated format. So make sure that you have these exact headers. If you still don't know why, just like message me and see if there's anything wrong with it. Um, so then, yeah, so after it passes that, it'll then be passed into the backend with this request, the Axios private with the import CSV, and that's where it starts in the import resource controller. So as with everything, you can search up, the functions. So import, what was it called? Oh my god, this is something. Import. Well, I guess if you don't know it there, then you can go to. You see, this says import. You can see this says this is the post for the import CSV. So you can go to the tree, you go to the routes. So let's close the client first. Go to the, where is it? The routes, and this is, since it's importing, so we'll go under resource, and you can see the import CSV is handle CSV import. So we can just go there, and this is where it starts. So if at any point you get one of these error messages, you can easily search it and find it in here. This will just go down all of these checks. So if you get any of the specific errors, you can always look in here. Um, yeah, this is just a bunch of code to interpret all the values. And yeah, you can read that when you read that. So yeah, once you go in here, for example, I put this CSV, then let's say I want to import it. So this is what I'm doing. It's not done now because there's a ton of things to fix. But if I go import, you can see it's in progress. And like if I go here, there should be a ton of things scrolling down on here. Yep, there's a lot. Yep, it's processing a couple hundred resources. Uh, which used to be a lot slower, by the way, since we weren't doing transactions. But now it should be done like relatively quickly. And it should be, yep, here are a bunch of errors that are failed. So for a lot of these, we just kind of want to go through and figure out what's wrong with the error. So for example, this admin access to the resource was unable to be processed. Let's search that up. Boom. And here, so yeah, so it's catching this error, and that's because it's failing somewhere in this try block. And you can see this try block is just one big await for function, so it must be failing in process admin info somehow. And if you go here, let's see why this might error. And you can actually see from here that one of the errors is that, okay, the phone country code is not defined. So yeah, why is that? Well, now if we go into here and we go to the model, we can find where the resource schema, no, not the resource, it's the user schema is. And you can see, okay, it can only contain digits, that and that, and like if you search that up here, this will give you the digits only string validator. So probably it's going through these validators and it's failing. So then you can look into that. And if it's something with a validator, like maybe the validator doesn't accept an empty string as input, we want to fix that since, you know, as I mentioned before, we do want it to be fine if a lot of these are empty. Like is verified is required, name is required, the import UID is required. Let me just add them to here. Um, required admin email. Let's go here. Phone numbers, website. Let's just put this required. Um, let's say their emails required. Um, yeah, whatever. None of these are required. Okay, so those should be everything that's bolded and required should be required. And yeah, so if it's not required, maybe just like figure out why it's failing, and fix that for now. And of course, if there's anything that's critically failing because something is empty and it's not just because of a check or a database enforcement, then also ask me about that. But our goal is to just basically be able to import these, um, just all these resources, even with their limited data. So it should say, like, at the end, it successfully imported all 228 if it does succeed, and you should see them in the FRM pending resources collection. Right now I deleted everything because there's just some issue with like the object IDs, but yeah, they should show up in here after you click reset. Um, yeah, so that's it. I know there are a ton of things that can go wrong in this, so you can always reach out for help. But yeah, that should be everything for importing resources into the Florida resource map. Yeah, and as I said, I'll be working on the CFF resources, so if you could just get started with some of the other ones that are not already in the approved resources and that are here with data that's not like missing too much, um, that would be great. So yeah,